Hello, welcome back. Right, let's just request we get these done. Just need to get them done. Um, yeah. So anyway, I think hopefully this is. I don't know. At least if we keep winning, we'll see. If we only lose a whole bunch of matches now, maybe it'll. You know, maybe it's going to convince you less here, but I think it kind of it should be obvious. Hopefully, I think there's a bit of there's a little. I'm sure it's just because of a bit of frustration on losing or whatnot, but there is a bit of the thing sometimes. Like people sort of say that the attributes don't do anything. Hopefully, it's kind of obvious that. I mean, it's kind of obvious that they do. There may be some issues and nuance and whatever, and everything's not perfect, but it should be fairly obvious that they don't literally do nothing, and that they are doing enough here that we are literally winning every single match with our youth team. Yeah, at the end of the day, they matter quite a lot. So do the tactics, though. That's the thing. The tactics matter quite a lot too. So I think that's part of the problem here, that you could have players with quite good attributes, but if you get all your tactics wrong, then, that's not wrong. It's not like things are right or wrong. They're obviously there's a massive sort of spectrum here. I guess more wrong than right, or less right than your opposition, sort of thing. It's that's the thing. So it's sure that's where a lot of it comes from. And I think another part of this is just especially in the higher divisions, people will evaluate players how they evaluate them, obviously, and they're going to buy players that they think are good. So basically, if you look at it from the perspective that somebody bought all the players in their squad and they bought players that they think are good, then in all likelihood they probably think that their players are really good, because they've bought them based on the attributes that they think are good, that they prioritize, etc., etc. And obviously everybody is different. So if they look at somebody else's team, they're naturally going to think that it's just inevitable, right? That they're going to think that basically every other team is worse than theirs. That's unless the team is really, really, really obviously better. But as soon as it's and at the end of the day in the Masters League, that's typically not ever the case, just about. So everybody's going to basically, through that lens, everybody's going to overrate their own team. Or to put another way, your team just ain't as good as you think it is ever, because that generally that applies literally to everybody under all circumstances. Just because literally that you've just evaluated everything on what you think is important, and everyone will do that for themselves. So and the truth is, everybody everybody's wrong, including me. That's the truth. It's just that to what degree are you wrong? Some people are way more wrong than others, but everybody's wrong here. So make no mistake about that. Nobody's got it perfect. This is way too intricate. It's way too complicated. As in, I don't know how complicated is the word. There's way too many moving parts. That's the way to put it. There's just too many moving parts to everything that's going on here to ever get any decisions that you make here even remotely close to perfect, including every single aspect of it, basically. But you certainly can do a better job than average, and you can do a much better job than average. And you can all, no matter, even if you're the best in the whole game at this whole side of things, there's still massive scope for improvement. That's the thing, and I think that's that. I find that fascinating personally. That there's basically limitless room for improvement, and that's ignoring the fact that obviously every time obviously we change it, make any changes, right? Like there's also like it evolves as an adaptation or whatever. But even if we never changed it and we just left it as is forever, it would still take. There's so many moving parts. I can't remember what it is, but in any given match, there's literally like some crazy, man. It's beyond millions. I'm not sure if it's billions, but it's certainly at least hundreds of millions of calculations. Like it's crazy. Per match here, like it's quite. There's a lot of moving parts. I'll just put it that way. Like it's just but it doesn't mean you can't get a decent way to solving the puzzle. You can get some ways there. I'm just saying you'll never perfectly solve it. But it's obviously there's issues, but that's also why, and that's part of it, right? Like, it's also part of why it's going to naturally evolve over time, because we'll keep trying to improve it and sort stuff out. So, it's going to make the puzzles always going to be shifting here as well. So I find it fascinating. Right, we probably should be paying attention to this match, because at this point, this is the match, and we haven't even been paying attention. We've got nothing to work with. We've been carrying on about stuff. It's a proper challenge now, because we have a very limited window to do. I don't even know what to do, to be honest, to change, because I haven't really been watching. So let's watch. I think we just got into total cruise control, because I don't know, mostly because we're creating content here. So I feel like it's like there's only so many matches in a row you can sit there and say absolutely nothing other than like, well, we're winning, let's not change anything. You got to talk about something. So felt like it was going to fall to our striker there and something might happen. Ooh, he's through if he breaks. Okay, cool. We won the tackle, but if we didn't win that tackle, he was clean through. It's really they are wasting a lot of time passing it around. Is this really? He's through. He's clean through. We just need to score. Okay. Unfortunately, what I've seen is just us have a couple of really good chances. So it's like this, and then pass the ball around in circles a lot. So I needed that first half information. Hopefully, we will get there. Bad spots. Ooh, good. Great chance again. Clearly it wasn't perfect though, because we are having a few chances now, but we didn't really look like we had anything much in the first half. So I'm about to get him below 80 as well, which is going to be he's definitely the superstar striker here. So all of a sudden he becomes more, he becomes worse. That's not good. Alright, let's... Yeah, this is just not... A lot of time being absorbed there. We are running out of time. And I still don't realistically... that's not good. Could have been good. Alright, just more time going. We can't really change anything here. I'm just trying to look if there's a way that we can stop them wasting so much time. Oh, it's a good chance. where we're sitting condition-wise. I think there is one thing we could do to try to help a bit, I feel. This is interesting. We could just lose from here. Super interesting. Right, one thing we can do is press. Because we do need to try to, like, not let them keep the ball so much. Oh, they could have scored. That would have... I don't know if it would have sunk us, but it would have been close. Alright, get there. It's going to get there. We just need some guys in the box. Better than that. Win. Okay. I think we... I still really feel like we could easily win this. Unfortunately, we had like quite a good flow of chances here, so I wish I was watching the first half because I don't really know what happened. I think we can take off Sangurini. It's a real shame, to be honest, because, well, let's see. I don't know. I'm still not entirely convinced we'll lose. We've obviously got no time. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen in a second. Oh, we could lose. We did. Awesome. Well, there you go. So, perfect example of what not to do. Don't get complacent. No matter how good your team is versus the opposition, you can always lose. Yeah, it would have been more interesting if that if that wasn't the lesson here. To be honest, if the lesson was more like, oh, well, there you go. We got complacent and we drew. Like, I kind of just felt, I had this feel, like I could just tell from the way that we're playing, like that I don't know, I felt like we were going to score. Obviously, so did they. But anyway, obviously a draw is better than a loss. But yeah, I feel like we win that if we pay attention in the first half. But maybe not. Who knows? It's hard to say because wasn't paying attention. So it really just depends on, because there's some real possibility that we would have. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know because I didn't see it. But I think at 3 shots there is some very real possibility we might have had changed something at halftime and had some kind of idea of what to change. Because based on what I saw in the second half, it kind of just looked like we had a whole bunch of chances. So, moving on. Well, anyway, we're still, I guess, we're still looking to not lose any matches, actually. So, it's pretty interesting, I guess. Youth competitive. Just checking if it's true. I feel like it's true. Yeah, okay. So we haven't conceded more than 1 goal in any of the games. So that's pretty interesting. We had a massive win streak there. Crazy, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 wins in a row. Whew. Crazy. Especially when you consider in that 19 wins in a row, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of them were by 1 goal as well. A lot of matches like that one that we actually made changes during to make sure that we got over the finish line with a win. We were paying much more attention in the beginning, so let's try and win this one. Make sure we win this one. I'm going to pay enough attention in the first half that I won't have any excuses if it happens again. It will definitely just be, I made changes, they didn't work. Decent chance. It isn't obvious. I'm not very good at multitasking. Quite. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not sure if it's. Sounds are. Well, I'm alright. Well, obviously, if I'm not good at multitasking, then you'd want to be good at focusing on one thing. I was going to say, I'm alright focusing on one thing at a time, but if you can't multitask, then you would sure as hell want to be good at that. So, yeah. I'm typically just focus on one thing at a time. So I do have a. It is hard for me conceptually to watch and concentrate on the matches and talk about something else. Just about, like, I'm just really bad at it. I just can't basically do it. I can watch it and not concentrate and not absorb it all, but yeah, I can't focus on everything that's going and absorb it and then just talk about completely different stuff, basically. It would be better if I could for these videos, because then I could just talk about other things about the game and whatever, and then just talk about the match. So, like even now, just talking what I'm talking now, it's you know, it's about the limit, I think, of how much I can not focus on it. Yeah. So on this match, I think, you know, the chance for the goal was very good. That chance was decent. We had decent chances. I mean, at the moment, it's just. This is exactly the type of first half where, like, even if they score now or whatever, like, we're probably not changing anything at halftime, because what I've seen is just like, I just feel like we're just winning this. We're just going to win. And that's been that case for loads of matches in a row now. Just obviously not last match, unfortunately. Some great chances. Score could be more. Crazy, hey? Got that keeper all the way down to 57% condition. It's just, I don't know if I've ever seen that happen. Might be we can just talk a bit about the auto subs, because that just happened. So curious how the managers do the subs. Basically, if you know, when you're not online, your assistant manager does the same rules. So basically, it's just if a player falls below 60% condition in the first half, they'll be subbed, and if a player falls below 80% condition in the second half, they'll be subbed. Now, they'll only be subbed if there is a player on the bench that plays the same position, and if there's more than one, it will sub on the one that's the highest sub. So you can, if you know you're not going to be online for matches, you can, you know, do a bit to sort of get your bench prepared properly for it, basically, and have some kind of idea about who's likely to sub for who and whatever. Like, you can. So yeah, and that's it. That's all how it works. I mean, it's by, like, you know, in the case of the system manager, it's like by design that it's just very straightforward. We don't want, you know, we don't really want it to be the case that there is I mean, one, it's good because it allows you to actually set your bench up to have some sort of, you can have some pseudo-planned series of subs that happen. You know, won't obviously line up exactly how you imagine every match, but if you're talking about over many matches, you can pretty much get it relatively right, save for players, getting knocks and stuff like that. But yeah. The thing that's part of the issue with if we, part of it is that if it does work in a very controlled way, like a very expected sort of way, like you can set your team up, set your bench up, set your team up to, so that if a match or whatever is played in your absence, like it will kind of loosely work how you want. For example, if you want your assistant manager to not make any subs, then what you can do, or almost do, is one, at least the outfielders at the moment, an easy thing you can do, bearing in mind the rules I just said, is just have all the outfielders not play any of the, not play positions that are in your team. I mean, it's not the easiest thing to do, obviously, but if you wanted, you could do that, and then the subs would never happen. So, for example, if I just had a whole bunch of left and right wingers on the bench, they would not come on by the assistant manager. I mean, the other obvious thing to do is just play the matches, because then you can do it all yourself. If you find that you are playing them and it's happening, it's because you are not playing them. It's because you're disconnecting from the matches. And so yeah, just stay in the match basically, and it won't happen. We could maybe talk a little bit about that, like conceptually about how you could look to set a bench up. It's something that's more, it's something as an exercise I think that's better done in the future, because it's something that it's way more, how do you say, when you have players that can play multiple positions and stuff, it's much easier to, it's much more interesting to talk about then, because it becomes, there's a lot more to consider. Like right now it would be very, very straightforward. Like we have a DC on the bench, he's just going to come on for one of the DCs basically, if that happens. But this is super interesting. They missed it, unfortunately. That would have made the match really interesting. And I stopped watching for a bit there, so he kind of went off on a tangent. So, right, let's sub this guy off. This guy. I had a little bit of an idea about what we could change. It really feels like, yeah, okay, they haven't really created anything. We could have way more than one goal here. So, but that's part of it, right? Like, we haven't been paying attention again. It's the degree of complacency again. And that's the thing. Like, you can dominate a match like this, and at the end of the day, they could have just scored there and it'd be 1-1. Like, you need to be better. We can just miss and miss and miss and miss. It's the thing. We can just keep missing. So, like, but despite all of that, like, we can still easily just win this match. Obviously, we're winning. Like, so we just want to make sure we make the right changes. I think at this point, like, we will just stop to catch a pause to think about something a bit. But I think at its core, we got a bit of an idea about what we'll change. Just hope we get to make it and that we don't concede first. Yeah, we get to make it. So that change is mostly just to make our team more defensive in nature. So we're looking just to ride out the last 7 minutes now and win. Yeah, I don't know what sub will do, but we'll just push it in case we can catch a sub. Oh no, we don't. I don't think. Alright, okay. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. It is one of those matches. Like, we were a bit complacent. We could have lost at the end of the day. They had a fantastic chance that they missed. So, I think conceptually, like, you could think of it as, I mean, it is different to the previous match because we were kind of dominating though, so it wasn't like really. Whereas this one with here that we drew, we only had 3 shots, so in the first half. So it's quite, that game was quite different. It was weird. It was like the only game where we didn't just steamroll them in the first half, and we sort of weren't paying attention. So, right. Anyway, yeah, that's the youth matches done. So. I guess we might just, if we go to the youth squad, I guess we can just have a quick look at the stats. Why not? I don't know what we're supposed to look at exactly. Yeah, okay, I was going to say this striker. I mean, interestingly though, the other guy has actually scored more, but this guy's, yeah, I mean, that's a lot between them. I mean, that's a crazy amount of goals. Basically, both having 2 separate strikers average a goal a game. It's kind of crazy. Alright, awesome. And to be fair, so was this other striker's also averaging a goal a game. Kind of crazy. 3 strikers a goal a game. 3 goal a game strikers. There you go. Right. Thanks for watching. Catch you for the next one.